Absolutely nothing
Tom,
to do with where we are
Tom,
here.
I've been very disappointed to see how you flipped so
And I
strongly
told you why.
from the time we met in Montgomery to now.
I have serious, at this point in time,
Because I did a social media post?
at this point in time, you are in no way prepared to be a leader.
I
in this
totally
organization.
disagree.
And that's fine. You're just not there yet.
But this isn't about being a leader right now. This is about,
But you
again,
have to submit. And you have,
this is about...
but you are creating a power struggle.
I'm not. She created it because she...
Jonathan, you're in a power struggle. You're perpetuating it. And I'll be honest
I'm
with
not.
you.
I'm holding strong to the Word of God. I'm not going to ever back down from that. I'm glad you made it clear in your letter that I wouldn't have to go against my convictions. But now it's not just that. Now you're...
What you're saying is, I'm not going to take orders from the CEO. And I don't trust the CEO, therefore I don't have to obey the CEO.
No.
That is stupid, Jonathan. Listen to how crazy that sounds.
John,
What I'm telling you is, you have to listen to the CEO. You have to do what the CEO says. You're under the authority of the CEO.
of course I am.
And you have to, and whether you trust her or like it or anything, that's where you are. And until you can convince everybody here you're going to be able to operate in that environment, you don't, I mean, if you can't, you need to resign. You need to leave here.
I never will.
Because you can't work here if you don't do that.
No.
Well, you won't be here if you don't submit to that structure.
I have submitted. Again,
I don't believe that.
okay.
I don't either.
Okay, well, that's...
Your actions are telling that you
Well,
haven't.
your words are not doing it.
That's between you and God. I have a clear conscience that I've done nothing but stand on the Word of God. And again, we need to rebuild trust slowly. Like I said in my email, we can slowly rebuild trust. But
This is not your...
she hasn't done
you don't
anything to
have-
try to rebuild trust.
You don't have the position in this company to be able to demand that.
I'm the vice president. I do.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
You work underneath the CEO and the board.
Of course,
And
but-
the board is telling you don't have the authority to say that.
But I was on the board until about 30 minutes ago, apparently. And
Well, you've got 24 hours.
At her request.
okay. My daughter was molested in 2021, and she mentioned that in the meeting to try to make Susie...
I didn't mention about
How
that.
she-
It's a private family thing that Susie accused someone of. That was not true.
And she basically made Susie the bad person, the victim, the mother of the victim. Basically said that she
I didn't
was
make
the
Susie
problem.
the victim at all.
Again, the recording says otherwise. But
If you can't let go of that meeting, you're never going to be you're not going to be able to survive over here.
You're not going to.
You're going
not
to have to
a
let go of
job.
what happened in that.
well, until a repair is made, how can we move past it? She hasn't repaired it.
You as a junior person in the chain of command in this organization, you either get past it or you need to resign.
Hello, Anointed Ones, and welcome back to the Anointed TV channel. Today, we uncover the startling story of betrayal, power struggles, and shifting beliefs within one of the most influential Christian ministries in America, Daystar. A story centered around one of Daystar's executive and board member Tom Calender, his sudden doctrinal reversal, and the fallout with Jonathan Lamb that left many questioning his motivations. For years, Tom Calender was known as a staunch defender of biblical principles, specifically against divorce and remarriage. But everything changed when Joni Lamb, widow of Daystar founder Marcus Lamb, entered the picture. What unfolded next shocked Jonathan and Susie Lamb and left Daystar in turmoil. Jonathan and Susie Lamb, two of the ministry's most visible faces, recounted how Tom initially stood with them. Following Marcus Lamb's passing, Tom was the sole independent board member, a vital position in ensuring checks and balances for Daystar's leadership. Jonathan and Susie believed Tom would uphold Marcus's vision. When they met with Tom at his home in Montgomery, Alabama, he told them he believed the Word of God was black and white. He even promised to honor my father's succession plan, which gave them hope. But overnight, everything changed. The next morning, at a breakfast meeting with Jonathan and Susie, Tom revealed he had received a call from Joni Lamb the previous evening, which changed everything he believed. He told us he no longer believed the Word of God was black and white. He said we needed to accept Joni's remarriage, and if we couldn't, we had to leave Daystar. It was devastating. Tom's sudden change of heart left the lambs reeling. For Jonathan, it was a moment of heartbreak. For Susie, it was the final straw. I couldn't believe someone could flip 180 degrees overnight. I was done. I walked away, knowing I couldn't stay in an environment like that, she said.
Tom Calender, he's been a family friend for many years. Whenever we had that infamous Jimmy Evans meeting, July 11th, 2023, Susie and I were searching and scrambling, what do we do? And so Tom, the other board member, it was my mom and I and Tom, we booked a ticket to meet him at his home in Montgomery, Alabama. And we just wanted to lay out everything that had transpired and let him just really lay it out and just let him know, hey, this is what's gone on. Susie and I aren't on television. This is why. And when we first went there, as far as the marriage went, he said that he believed the Word of God is black and white. And so we were like, okay, this is great. He's completely with us. He believes the Word of God. And he also, one of the other things that he told me was that he pointed out that an email that my dad had sent as one of his last emails that he had ever sent to Tom, and that was the succession plan email, which stated that, my mother would be the president after my dad passed, and then I would be the president after her. He said, I will make sure that I will make sure this comes to pass.
I am Marcus's dying breath on
He literally
earth.
said, I am Marcus's dying breath. I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure this comes to pass. So we're like, okay, this is great.
He said that was the reason he's still alive, because he's
Exactly.
80-something.
So we spent all day with him. We laid out everything. We went through some emails and some of the points in the meeting. And him and his wife were just both very compassionate and seemed to really care. And we left his home that night thinking, okay, this is great. We've got someone that is going to ensure that Daystar is going to be going down the right path, that we will be able to continue forward. But then the next morning, it's like everything changed. He told us that he needed to meet with us, and I still remember that breakfast meeting that we had. I couldn't even eat because I was just so sickened. He had completely done a 180-degree flip. And he told us that we had to accept the marriage, and if we can't accept the marriage, we would have to leave.
And this is of Joni and Doug.
Right.
Well, he got a call that night after, so we spent the day with him. And him and his wife were very, very loving. They reaffirmed all our biblical beliefs.
Yeah.
They said all the red flags they saw. Again, we're not thinking about the succession plan. We're not thinking about the future of Daystar. All we went there was because the board was Joni, Jonathan, and Tom. And Joni obviously had just fired me and threatened Jonathan's job. The only other member was Tom. So we go to meet with Tom because a lot of friends advised us, he's the other board member. He needs to know the truth. So we sit down with him, talk about the Bible. He teaches people at his church the Word of God, and it was a really anointed time. We were like, okay, we're of one mind and one spirit. And so everything was wonderful until he got a call that night. He told us the next morning he got a call from Joni that night, and that he said he completely changed. And now he said, you know what? The Word of God actually is not black and white. There's many different ways to interpret things, and you need to have an open mind to interpret things different ways. Immediately, red flag, and I was like, I check out, peace out. I'm good. Thank God I'm fired. I'm good. And it was a long struggle for Jonathan, though. He kept hoping. I mean, you can talk about your part, but for me, I was done.
Well, we were just completely shocked that someone could flip 180 degrees just from overnight. And so whatever my mom did, I don't know if she threatened him or what.
He said that she did.
Yeah, he was just a different man.
Wait, did he say that?
He said, I'm scared for my life. Doug might come after me.
Behind closed doors, Tom Calender, once viewed as a powerful alpha male figure with a booming voice, was now pressuring Jonathan and Susie to submit to Joni's leadership. Tom blasted us in the boardroom, demanding we accept Joni's remarriage. It was like he had abandoned everything he once stood for. According to the Trinity Foundation and the Roy's report, Daystar's board was unusually small for a ministry of its size, leaving it vulnerable to poor decision-making and undue influence, chiefly from Joni Lamb. The sole independent board member was Tom Calender, whose reversal on core doctrines shocked even his closest allies. Tom's betrayal left Jonathan and Susie questioning the future of Daystar. What once seemed like a unified ministry dedicated to Marcus Lamb's vision now appeared fractured and lost. If Tom had held the line, Daystar wouldn't be in this mess. He was supposed to stand firm for biblical truth, but instead, he caved under pressure. What led Tom Calender to change so drastically? Was it pressure, fear, or something else? And what does this mean for the future of Daystar? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories like this. This is more than a story of betrayal. It's a cautionary tale of what happens when convictions are traded for convenience.
You have to do this. You have to do this. Take your shoulders and shake you. It's your job. And we've done everything we can to protect your vision and the vision your father had to get you to a point where you can get there. But it's your job now to submit to the authority of this organization.
Well, I do
not
submit.
as a son, not as anything else, as an employee and a board member.
I have.
No, you haven't. You are challenging it full force. And that's got to get through your head. Your actions are challenging that. I can get up and run around this building here in a minute and go crazy if you don't just open your mind. God open his mind to see what he's doing to himself.